Hey guys, real quick before we start today's video, if you could just give me a like, and if you enjoy my content, maybe give me a subscribe. I've noticed that a lot of my views come from people who aren't subscribed to me, and it would just really mean a lot because as of this video, pretty sure I'm at 800 subscribers, which let me tell you, I just am very, very humbled by that because I never realized I would be at this mark, but I really want to get to 1,000. So if you could just maybe hit that subscribe button and comment below and let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, anyways, let's get to the video. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Black Dragon RPG. My name, of course, is John, and today we are going to do, I'm going to do a little session recap. So, as many of you know, if you watch my videos regularly, my group and I have started a 2nd edition Pathfinder campaign. And so I thought it would be fun to, since it's a fresh start to a new campaign, I felt like maybe I should do some session recaps. I know someone in the comments of one of my videos had said a session recap can be really fun. So I was like, that actually would kind of be interesting. And it would kind of act as like a personal DM journal, I guess, for me. If that makes sense, I don't know. So, but I figured I'd start with session 0. So, session 0 was actually 2 weeks ago, but I figured it'd be nice to stagger these. That way, after we play, I have a whole week to go over notes and kind of put it all into a cohesive script to relay what happened in each session. I've got one of my players that is really awesome at taking bullet notes, like a bullet journal kind of thing that she keeps for her character. And so she takes that home, she rewrites all of it in a really polished form, and then she can share that with me, and it'll help me also remember, because I take notes too, but my GM notes are a lot more quick chicken scratch because I'm also trying to run the game. So yeah, I figured then I would have enough notes to present it all in what hopefully comes across as an intelligent session recap. So, session 0, basically, we're all pretty new to Pathfinder 2e. Several of my players have played 1st edition Pathfinder, back in the day. I myself have read a lot of the Pathfinder 2e rules and books, so I was a little more familiar with it, but I have never actually gotten a chance to play. And so my group and I decided to play Pathfinder because they all wanted a more rich, a deeper, more rich experience. They actually love crunch. They wanted to go rules heavy. They wanted options, and it has been a blast so far. All the hate that I have experienced, literally, I got dogpiled the other day by when I commented on someone else's video. All I said was what I like about Pathfinder 2e. Didn't mention any other system. I just simply said what I liked about Pathfinder 2e, and I got dogpiled by a bunch of 5th edition people that were telling me I was wrong for enjoying Pathfinder 2e. And so anyways, that I'm not going to get into that here, but everything that they had said and other things that I have watched videos on and read online about the negatives of Pathfinder 2e, I have not experienced that. My group has not experienced that. I'll put a picture up real quick of a screenshot that I took. One of my players, when the game was over on Tuesday, when he got home, he sent me this thing that said that he has not felt this much excitement since he first started playing D&D, and he's been playing since first edition AD&D back in the 80s. And he said he's not been this excited for a game since he first started as a kid. It has reinvigorated his love for tabletop RPGs, and I think that speaks volumes, really, for the system. And so anyways, session 0 was character creation. I feel like now that I'm like I got this really cool standing desk that's motorized and it goes like up and down and stuff, because I really like to stand. And but I feel like when I stand, I use my hands way more and I'm way more expressive. So if that bothers you, just comment and say, hey, stop it, and I'll try to like tone that shit down. Anyways, so we made characters, and this is what everyone ended up with. So our first player, his character name is Thorne. He went with skilled human for his ancestry and background. Ancestry and heritage. He went with acolyte for his background because he went with cleric for his class. So he is a follower of Sarenrae, which if you watch the first season of Critical Role, you'll recognize Sarenrae because that's who Pike's goddess was that she followed. Because Critical Role had actually played Pathfinder in their home game. They only switched to D&D because Felicia Day told Matt Mercer that it would probably be, a simpler rule system for the audience to understand, and D&D is just a more recognizable name. Anyways, so they switched, but Matt, obviously, they had been telling those stories for years in Pathfinder, so the deities, he just kept, Anyways, Pike was a follower of Sarenrae, is my point. So that is who my buddy went with. So, yeah, follower of Sarenrae. He went with the cloistered cleric. It was really awesome. He has never played a cleric, so he was like, you know what? I want to try something completely different since we're starting a new system. And so far, cleric has played really awesome in Pathfinder. I was kind of shocked because I tend to think of clerics as just a little bit boring. It's just me personally, but cleric, man, I'm really impressed actually. So he's got his, we got like the divine spell cards I bought, and so we got those sleeved up, and yeah, just really awesome. Anyways, my next player, his name is Oscar. He is an Iron Gut Goblin. He went with his ancestry and heritage. He chose Nomad for background. He follows Nethys for his deity. And he's a sorcerer. For his bloodline, he went with Undead. So he's got some really cool abilities. And the Undead Sorcerer casts from the divine tradition. So he casts divine spells. So he's kind of playing this like city scavenger kind of feel with his goblin. It's kind of an interesting idea for a character. I really like it. Then we have Kalikari. She is a woodland elf for her ancestry and heritage, with a background as a sailor because she went with swashbuckler, which is awesome. So she's got panache and all that. Her swashbuckler style, she chose fencer, and I think she's kind of modeling her character after kind of like a Jack Sparrow kind of character, which is really cool. She's having a great time with that. Then we've got Silverfang. He is a rock dwarf, which is his ancestry and heritage. His background is gladiator, and he went with barbarian, the fury barbarian as his instinct ability. So that's the flavor of barbarian that he is. So I thought that was kind of a cool idea. A rock dwarf but also a barbarian who has been a gladiator. Yeah, really cool character, very, very powerful. And then we've got my wife, who is playing the character Tup, who is an unbreakable goblin as her ancestry and heritage. She chose the gambler background, and she went with Bard. So, and for Bard, you get to choose a muse, and she chose Enigma. So she casts from the occult spell list, which I think is pretty awesome. Bards are really friggin' flavorful and awesome. So yeah, that is all the players, and that is I'm the GM. So since everyone is new, and since I am also new at DMing this game, we went with I decided to run them through the beginner's box adventure, which is called Menace Under Otari. So that has been going, in my opinion, really well. I won't get into that in this video because this is just a session 0 recap. But I did want to point out some things that we're trying to do to make learning the rules a little bit easier. So, of course, I've got so many tabs in the book, and all my players have ordered their own copies of the book because we really want to learn this system like inside and out, because there's so many cool things that you get to do in Pathfinder. So I've been making these note cards. So for example, shove, which is an athletics roll, long jump, high jump, leap, grapple, force open, climb, subsist, balance, squeeze, tumble through. Yeah, there's just a lot. And so I've been making note cards that makes it super easy. So if someone says, hey, I want to shove this target, like how do I do that again? I can just be like, there you go. Read how to do it and do it. You know, it just makes it a lot easier to learn, you know, like flashcards in school or whatever, which I love. I love the depth of this game and the depth of the combat. The other thing that I really appreciate is in the beginner's box, they give you 6 of these player reference cards, and it just goes over the basics of checks and critical success, failure, and critical failure. Because in Pathfinder, you don't just crit and fumble on a 20 and a 1. You can also have a critical success if you exceed the DC by 10 or more. You can fail if you get 10 below the DC or lower. So there's different ways to have a critical success or a critical failure. But it also goes through like what you can do on your turn and how many actions you are allowed to perform. And then the back of it has some conditions. Now this isn't all the conditions, but these are like the most used conditions, I guess, that pop up. So it's just like a nice reference sheet. The spellcasters, obviously, I have bought all of the spellcasting card sets, so they get these all sleeved up, and then for their backpacks, they get, I write out a note card with everything that they have on them, and that's how we keep track of total bulk, because Pathfinder 2e has literally the best encumbrance system that I've ever seen in any role-playing game. It is so simple and intuitive and easy to understand, and I just love it. Anyways, so we are playing Menace Under Otari, and next week I will bring you what happened in Session 1. So, if you enjoy this kind of video, please like and subscribe, because I will literally be bringing you updates as the game progresses, and yeah, maybe you'll find it interesting. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next video.